Before today's episode begins, I want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for a fellow YouTuber of mine. His name is Helix. He's struggling with his life and situation right now, and I honestly would appreciate it if you could show him some love and donate to his Patreon page. Every little bit helps, so I'm going to be praying that he'll be okay, but I'm also going to be praying that you yourselves can donate to him. Every little bit helps. Please spread the word that he has a Patreon page. You can donate as much as you can, as much as you want, but just remember, any amount's good enough. So I hope you guys check out his Patreon page. I hope you check out his YouTube page, and I highly suggest you take a look at him. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the review. Hello everybody, and welcome to my very first review of Final Fantasy VIII. I am Shiron91, a video gamer who doesn't shut up on how awesome or awful video games can be. And today, for this special review, I've been waiting to do this for so long, and I'm sure everyone has been too, my review for Final Fantasy VIII for the PS1. Now, I'm only going to choose the PlayStation 1 system because, yeah, I'll let this chart speak for itself. But anyway, the main story focuses on our character, Squall Leonhardt, aka this guy, who was on training and got injured because of this guy, Cypher, aka our douchebag. But instead of Squall, we can name him whoever we want, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and choose Squall. Simple. Alright, the first thing I want to get out of the way are the graphics. Wow, for a PlayStation console game, these are really good, especially since it was made in 1999. Man, this game looks good. From the background of the curtains to the animations of the characters. And I think it's a little bit more of an improvement of Final Fantasy VII. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Final Fantasy VII's design. But let's be honest, Final Fantasy VIII is way more of a better improvement. However, another departure that the game has, instead of learning spells and summons and other stuff, you get 2 GFs pretty much early if you go to the terminal. What are GFs? GFs are basically the summons of Final Fantasy VIII. You get 2 of them in the terminal, Quetzalcoatl and Shiva. Now before you ask, who is Quetzalcoatl? Allow me to answer that. Quetzalcoatl is the replacement of Rama, who uses the electrical attacks just like the guy himself. And if y'all know who Shiva is, she uses ice attacks, obviously. However, if you don't get them at the terminal, Quistis will give them to you real early before you head off to the fire caves. And speaking of the fire caverns, you get your 3rd GF, and my personal favorite, Ifrit. Doesn't he look cool or what? Although he doesn't look like the Arabian ones, but oh well. And how do you beat him? You kick his fiery butt, just like how I did. Now, there are more GFs in this game, but I'll get to those much, much later. You know, I really should be getting some training in before I go to my exam. So I'm gonna go ahead and train. And what do we have here? T-Rex! Ah! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, run! Oh, okay. Oh no, not another enemy. And I didn't even leave an inch. Okay, it's just a plant with spider legs. Okay, after one of the game's flaws is the gameplay, and it is the junction system. It can be really confusing. However, for junctioning GFs, it's no problem. Just equip it to your character and boom, there you go. Once you junction your GF to your party member, you can choose 3 commands out of the 4 abilities that you have. Magic, GF, draw, and item. And not only that, you can also junction magic to your stat abilities to increase strength, spirit, magic, vitality, and HP. I like this. This is a really nice strategy, and it actually makes you really feel like a tinker, allowing you to at least see what works with your allies or anything else. Or you can just automatically choose your spells. There's always that. And that's kind of lazy. Well, at least in my opinion anyway. But at least it gets the job done if you don't really want to fiddle around with it. The other thing that people really don't like is how your characters well, don't share magic or don't learn magic automatically. There's no MP or mana points in this one. Instead, characters can hold up to 100 different types of spells: fire, blizzard, thunder, all the classics. But honestly, sorting them out can be a pain. Well, at least for people who have OCD like I do. Trust me, when you get further in the game and get more spells, but you really want your character to have a lot, oh boy, this can be a nightmare to go through. But you know what? I have no problem with it. So the question is, how do you get these spells? Well, there are 3 ways of doing it. Drawing it from enemies, drawing it from draw points, and refining items. I think I'll try to explain both of them and leave the refining one later. So, first off, drawing magic from monsters. Drawing from your enemy monsters is probably the most ridiculous of all time. And to be honest with you, this is one of the most ridiculous parts of the gameplay. So, how does this work? Simple. Select draw, select monster, and then select stock. Of course, there are 2 ways of at least using the draw system. You can stock up for more spells, like I was always doing at the training center and even other places like the fire caverns later on. But overall, it amounts to something that you really need these kinds of spells if you want your characters to be stronger. Nothing really changes except for idle animations like this. But overall, it's just completely boring. And even later, you can actually draw the same number. What's even more interesting is that you can cast the spells against them. I don't use that a lot, but I only use it on cures so I can have my characters be healed up. It's pretty useful if you don't want to waste your spells, so I basically use cures cast. However, the second way of getting it is probably one of the middle parts of the road, is on a little hunt for these pink little swirly things right by the fern. You see that? That's where you draw your spells. The condition is that your characters have to have this ability drawn on them. So I got Esra, Blizzard, Cure, and Fire in my exam and everything. Pretty useful, but still boring. Alright, let's go ahead and fight off this monster and get back to 4 to 2 hours of training. Let's do this!
2 hours later.
Okay, after 2 hours of training myself and the GFs and stocking up on some spells and items, I'm ready for my Dalit mission. So after getting my GF from the fire caverns, Quistis tells me that I will be assigned a member of my squad known as Squad B, and I will be getting an individual named Zell Dinkit, a lively fellow. Really, Squall? You're gonna switch? Come on, Squall, I'm sure you'll like him, just give him a chance. I mean, how bad or annoying can he be? I'll admit the intro was pretty cool. But what's up with his Mike Tyson tattoo? So Zell is a second member of the Squad B for the Dalit mission, and he's a very great martial artist and knows about Squall and Slifer's rivalry. Heard he whooped you real bad this morning. Zell, Squall has a gunblade, and he's not afraid to use it on you if you keep pushing his buttons. Anyway, our squad leader is Cypher, and Zell's response is priceless.
Say what?
So, how does Cypher walk in? Insert Imperial March from Star Wars here, people. And, of course, he doesn't care about his team because he doesn't like them. So, Squad B is Squall, Zell, and Cypher. But Quistis isn't going to join us or is going to give out the mission. That is our headmaster, named Sid. Wait, Robin Williams? Is that you? Holy cow! He's in a video game. Okay, I know the joke goes around that Headmaster Sid in Final Fantasy VIII looks like Robin Williams, and honestly, I would not blame them. When I was little, I was always thinking the same. I mean, just look at him.
Let's kill them with kindness.
Okay, I'm sorry. I love Robin Williams a lot, so I had to throw in the joke in there somewhere. One more wouldn't hurt, though.
We will win this for Mother Russia!
So, after Headmaster Sid's big inspirational speech, we're on our way to Dalit to complete our mission. Okay, aside from the graphics of the original game of Final Fantasy VIII, the second thing I'd like to talk about are the FMVs of this game. Holy cow, the FMVs are amazing. Whenever I watch through the Dalit missions FMV, I always am reminded of when I first played the first ever demo of this game. Oh yeah, there were demos of this game, and the demos of them were pretty something to get them. There were two ways of getting it. One, by getting the game Brave Fencer Musashi, which unfortunately I didn't know about and I didn't get, and second were the Pizza Hut demos, were the ones that I got. Thank you, Pizza Hut demo, for introducing me to Final Fantasy VIII. If there is one thing I like aside from the visuals of the game, the music is one of my personal favorites out of every single one of them. Seriously, I have the complete soundtrack on my phone, on my iPod, and everywhere else I can actually put it in. I mean, don't take my word for it, listen to it for yourself. Of course, Nobuya Uematsu is always known for his fantastic work when it came to music, and this was no different. I love his work, so dude, keep up your awesome work, and I'll always love it. But of course, I'm probably stalling, and I deeply apologize for that, so let's get back to the Dalit mission there, shall we? So the vessel lands onto the Dalit beach, and Quistis tells us to go over to the central square as we are to at least hold down the fort. Okay, another complaint that this game actually has is its combat system. Now, I'm pretty sure all of the effort in this game was put all in the focus of its graphics, but seriously, I think a little bit of an interesting gameplay would have been nice, aside from choosing only 4 commands. Attack, GF, draw, item, or magic, depending on which one you've jumped in onto your character. See, in this fight, I basically decided to let Cypher, the guy in the gray coat obviously, draw some magic. Why? I don't know. Probably I wanted to make him a lazy slacker, while me and Zell did all the work. Seriously, I pressed X in this game a lot when it comes to attacking my enemies, and that's small potatoes to Final Fantasy XIII's gameplay. Oh yes, I'm calling you out on this, Final Fantasy XIII. Of course, to be fair, the game does have one interesting concept that I really enjoy, especially for the characters that we have on here. The limit breaks. Every character has their own limit break, and every one of them is unique. Of course, there are 2 ways of actually being able to reach your limit break. The first one is pretty much risky, where you have to have your character's health at very risk. And what's risk? Being in the yellow, obviously. And how will you know your character's at risk? They'll slouch down like they're about to pass out, and you'll see a little arrow right next to the attack button. Hold down the right button, and you'll be able to select the limit breaks on what your character has. For example, Zell has duel. Now, like I said, every character in this game has their own different kinds of limit breaks that they can use. Zell obviously uses duel. You have to press the correct prompt in order to at least move on and beat the crap out of another enemy. Cypher's limit break is Fire Cross, but it will automatically activate No Mercy. With it, this attack can strike all enemies in the range and can do an extensive amount of damage. Sort of. And then there is Squall's limit break, Rinzo Kuken. By pressing the R1 button in sync with the mark that appears on a gauge, it will double the damage. However, a finishing move may also be activated at random, so in this case, Rough Divide. Pretty useful, but also pretty dang risky at randoms. Also, in case if everybody asks, yes, I had to use footage from other parts of the game I was a part of in order for me to use this. Why? I wasn't able to use it at the Dalit mission because I was never weakened. Also, a little fun fact, Dissidia Final Fantasy, in the second part of the Dissidia game, Squall used this as his limit break attack to finish off his enemies. Also, since this is an RPG game, If all of your characters that you have in your party reach down to 0, it's an automatic game over. So here's some advice for you guys. Waylay your enemies with attacks and keep your party's health up and going to make sure they don't die. Moving on. We find out that soldiers from Galbadia are actually fixing up a radio tower. Why are they fixing up a radio tower? Maybe Cypher knows what's going on. Who cares? Cypher, please tell me you're not thinking about running in the battle and doing stuff. Oh yes, he is. He really is. Of course, this doesn't make Zell happy. Not at all. Yeah, Brooklyn Rage! Of course, Cypher's reply is, "What's the matter, Zell? Smarty flies." And he just ditches us. Yeah, I know how you feel there, buddy. However, all of a sudden, we get spotted by a girl from the beach earlier. Oh god. Oh! That had to hurt. Let's watch that in slow motion. Okay, I call baloney on this one. She should have at least sprained her ankle or something. Who is she anyway? Her name is Sophie from Squad A, sent by the same group to send a message to our captain, Cypher. And Squall shows her where he is. There he is. And of course, Cypher boasts about how one day he'll tell everybody about his romantic dreams of battles, and proceeds to run into the radio station. Sophie, who's obviously something, jumps off of the cliff. Don't worry guys, she's not really hurt. In fact, she's okay. Right now, I'm honestly convinced that she is an adrenaline junkie. Of course, this is really an option. You don't have to jump off of the cliff if you don't want to. I chose not to because I really don't want my legs to be broken today. Thank you. Anyway, we reach up to the tower, and dang, that is one big tower, I gotta admit. Anyway, we go in there to see if we can find Cypher. And how do we find him? He chases away some Galbadian soldiers, wanting to fight them. Of course, Sophie desperately tries to talk to Cypher, but it fails. I got a feeling that there's gonna be a boss over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and save. Okay, now that my party's healed up, all my magic and stuff is all sorted out, and I saved, I'm ready to go up there and see what lies ahead. Wow, this lift's pretty cool. Don't get too excited or you'll fall. Like I'm really going to. Zell, I'm pretty sure she can survive this fall. She did before. Meanwhile, up above the communication tower, two soldiers named Wedge and Biggs apparently are fixing up the radio tower, while Wedge reports that there is a monster lurking around here. Of course, how does Major Biggs actually take this news report? Be quiet, I'm busy. Of course, we learn that Biggs is a big complaining individual who complains about working with the radio tower with crappy tools. And of course, Biggs and Wedge, I just find them funny, comedical little side characters. They're kind of like Team Rocket, minus the talking cat. Of course, we ask Wedge or Biggs, Biggs, what he's doing at the radio tower. And Biggs' response? Wedge, take care of these twerps! I swear, Biggs and Wedge are one of the funniest characters in the entire game. I love these two tremendously. Even though they're really bumbling buffoons, I still like them. And of course, since he's surrounded, he tries to weasel his way through. And as he gets away, surprise! Cypher pops in to crash the party. And he has some fighting words of his own. Just shut up! And then we battle Biggs. Prepare for the worst, you brats! And honestly, this is kind of boring. And finally, Wedge pops up out of nowhere. And apparently, they exchange their little fun dialogue. Wedge, where were you? No pay for you this month! Should have stayed home. Okay, the fight's going around so far so good. Just a little bit longer, and I think I might be able to beat. What in the world is going on here? Okay, I guess the fight's over? What in the world is that? That was the thing that blew Biggs and Wedge off the tower. Good lord. I'm surprised that these three weren't blown off any time. Well, now, because of Biggs and Wedge's meddling, we're now forced to fight off this big old behemoth that obviously has the lower body of a hornet and wings of a giant bat. Hey, I see something, not a spell. Okay, hold on. Do you see where the cursor is being pointed at over there down below? That is Shiron, one of the GFs that some of the main bosses might have in the game. So, how do you simply get it? It's simple. You just simply select Shiron, select stock, and simply try to beat the battle. Easier said than done, but here's the thing. Not all of these boss levels will have them. All I can say is if you're looking for all of them, good luck, you're gonna need it. So I better go ahead and do that right now, or else I'm probably gonna regret this. Just like that, and boom. Acquired Shiron. Now all I gotta do is just beat the boss, and I'm home free.
2 hours later.
Oh god, oh god, oh. I better use the last Phoenix down. Oh, come on. Please let me... And I am dead. Crap. Well, after that previous failure of me trying to beat that boss, I better go ahead and train some more, so I will be right back.
2 hours later.
Alright, you giant mutated hornet, you thing. I'm ready to kick your butt. But first I better stock up Shiron. Huh, there we go. Now I'm ready to kick your butt. First, let me stock these two up. Ooh, doubles. I got 3 for Sylphie. Okay, now I'm ready to kick your butt. Let's do this! And what I mean by that, I'll waylay you with GFs. And speaking of which, by selecting the junction GF, your characters can actually have their GF names cover over the original. So, when the blue bar completely covers it, they'll be able to activate their GF with their own special ability. For this battle, I only have Ifrit, Shiva, and Quetzalcoatl, each with their own special attacks. Ifrit with Hellfire, Shiva with Diamond Dust, and Quetzalcoatl with Thunderstorm. And if your GF knows the ability Boost, hold down the select button and get ready to hammer that square button to no end. On the bottom left, you'll see a little figure known with your cursor. So when you see it, hammer that square button. But don't press the square button when there's an X on there. Why? If you hit the square button while the X is covering up the finger, well, it reverts everything down to the lowest base ability out there, 75. And I gotta tell you, that is hard. And I'm not a very big, fast button mashing person, so I always have to have it in a certain way in general. So yeah, it wasn't really easy for me. All I do is just hammer the square button and pray to God the X doesn't cover over the finger. Otherwise, I'll have to do it all over again. Okay, I'll be honest, it is kind of a nitpick to talk about the negatives about that boost ability. Though really, I don't really pay much attention to it, or do I not care about it in any way, shape... Oh, dang it! Ugh, anyway, the animations on how the Guardian Forces basically use their attacks are extremely breathtaking. Now, I know I said that the gameplay wasn't the biggest focus in this game, but honestly, I think the visuals are definitely where it knocks it out of the park. Even though it has aged a lot, I will never, ever get tired of seeing all of these Guardian Forces use a lot of their animation attacks. I don't get sick of it, to be honest. In fact, it's one of the things I tolerate a lot of the bunch. Aside from the 3 that I have right now, and Shiron that I'll get later, there are, in total, 16 junctionable GFs. In fact, with 16 junctionable GFs, I think that would be possible for, well, a top 10 list, probably. Wink, wink. Anyway, I better focus on this boss right now and take him down. So what I'm gonna do is just use Quetzalcoatl to land a very big old attack on it. Gotta press that square button repeatedly. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, the X is so annoying. Hopefully, this will be it. I'm praying it is. Oh, he's struggling. Did I do it? I hope I did. Yeah, I did it! I beat him! And it only took 2 hours for me to level up and get strong. Heck yeah! Whew. And obviously he turned into pixie dust. Okay. This calls for a victory tune. Hit it! Oh yeah, one more thing I failed to mention. If you ever fight a boss like I did, you don't get experience. But at least I got a GF in the end. So after that battle, Sylphie gives the message to the captain of Squad B, Cypher. I have a new order. All seed members and cadets are to withdraw at 1900 hours, assemble at the shore. Yep, Sylphie has the order to give to Squad B that they have to withdraw from Dalit. So in short, we have 30 minutes to get from the radio tower all the way back to the shore before the vessels leave and we're stranded here on Dalit. So the four of us all have to head over to the shore before the vessels leave and— Oh, come on, Cypher, you have to stay with your team! Okay, Cypher, you know the phrase, a good soldier never leaves a man behind? Well, guess what? You just did, you douchebag. Seriously, he just says, you have 30 minutes to get to the shore. Better get going. And he runs off like this. So long, suckers! I honestly would ask Cypher the same thing there, Zell. I swear, sometimes I'm... Wait, what's with the music? Oh my god, what is with that spider? Who brought it down here in the first place? Oh crap. Apparently, this was Biggs' doing. He was the one who summoned the giant mechanical spider to kill us. So great, I have to deal with Cypher and the giant robotic spider. That's great. So what I'm gonna obviously do here, because I was really stupid, I decided to go ahead and try to take on this big old behemoth. Seriously, I tried everything in my power to beat this son of a gun. I waylaid the everlasting crap out of him with GFs. Nothing worked. All I had was Shiva, Ifrit, Quetzalcoatl, and Siren that I just junctioned. But no matter how many times I tried, no matter how much in vain, I could not, for the like of me, take it out. So, after all that, I just decided to do one thing. Once he was weakened, and down on his laying on its stomach apparently, holding the R2 and L2 button to run the high holy heck out of there. That's exactly what I did. Well, I think it took it. You have got to be kidding me. This son of a gun got back up, followed me, and is gonna say to me, you better start running, you little midgets, cause I'm gonna kill ya. So I kept running and running and running and— Ah! Oh my god! That son of a gun snuck up on me. Anyway, since I'm battling him a second time, I might as well have Sylphie use scan since I had, like, magic equipped to her ability. So after he attacks, I'm gonna go ahead and do just that. After I have Shiva up and going, so scan. Now let's see how this son of a gun was still working, and see if he has a weakness. Wow, that's a lot of health. Oh, he's weak to electricity. Okay, I can do that. So, with my newfound knowledge, I used every ounce of GF attack that I had with Ifrit, Shiva, and Quetzalcoatl respectively to do more damage to him. And really, I don't think I'm doing a lot because all he's doing is repairing himself as well. See, whenever he's down like that, he will repair himself. Well, actually, now that I'm far into it, I wonder how much I've done damage to him. Let's have a look-see with scan again. Okay, Sylphie, cast scan, and let's see how much damage we've done to the giant mech machine thingy. You have got to be kidding me. Oh boy. So I decided to let Zell hit him with Shiva again so he can lay on his belly. And I ran away. Again, I really wish I learned about refining. That way I can get better spells. Oh crap, I actually did say I was going to mention about refining, didn't I? Well, might as well do it now. Okay, refining items to make more spells. This, honestly, is one of the easiest ways to break the game intentionally. See, when you beat enemies, you get certain types of items, tools, and other stuff that you can use on your journey. But when you learn about refining spells like fire spells, thunder spells, ice spells, even life spells, this is where the game can get really, really easy to break. Like here. 1 will refine into 5 cures within stones. I mean, look at that. I can have, just imagine if I had 100 of those, and I can have 100 for all of my characters, and still have some left to spare. Heck, even when Quetzalcoatl learns Card, a command that can turn enemies into cards, and then you learn Card Mod, you can actually refine the cards that you gather in the game to get better items. I'm not even kidding. That's how broken it can be. Oh great, now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to talk about Triple Triad. Oh well, I might as well get this out of the way too, in case people in the comments complain about it. To be honest, Triple Triad is not a very fun game in my opinion, and I would rather pass Kidney Stones than ever play this game. The basic rules of this game are simple. The characters and the opponents will start with a hand of 5 cards each. Each card represents a point. The character gains or loses points as they capture or lose cards. After the computer randomly selects who goes first, each player places 1 card at a time on the 3x3 grid until all 9 card slots are filled. The winner of the game is the one who possesses the most points at the end of the game. Keep in mind that as the player progresses through the game itself, local rules will change. And this is where my complaints of the game really start to surface. First off, a lot of rules are in this game, and it can be very frustrating to actually change the rules depending on what they are. And if you don't pay attention to what happens to the rules, oh boy, it can be a real nightmare to try and manage. The only times I actually played this was when later on in the game, so I really didn't get a lot of footage for it because, like I said, I don't really like this minigame. It's boring and it's just not fun. And you want to know the most ironic thing out of it? The actual first time I played through this game, maybe it was because of pure dumb luck, I somehow won. And if you won, you get to choose 1 card, or many cards depending on the rules, on the losing team. Seriously, if you're one of those people who want to collect the cards, let me tell you this right now. If you want to collect the cards, just get ready to reload the game and restart from the same one just so you don't lose your precious card. So, after getting through a few of the footages for it, want to know the thing I did? I refined whatever card that was refinable into specific items so I can use them in the future. And when I got the items I needed, I ended up at least using those kinds of items in order for me to have all of my characters have 100 of certain spells in general. Yes, I know. I got rid of a chance and ruined the chance for me to actually get better spells and better cards in the future, but honestly, I would rather at least do this than losing my favorite cards in Triple Triad. The Portal Apps version of Triple Triad is better than this. Sorry about that, guys. I just got a little bit sidetracked here. Anyway, we're still running away from the giant spider mech, and along the way, he ends up crushing somebody's car. Should have got some car insurance from Geico. I mean, seriously, that would have at least covered him completely.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Now, I don't really know what possessed me to try again, since I had all of my characters have magic commands on them. So I went on ahead and tried facing him again, with all of my characters having the magic equipped on them. And I honestly was doing the best I could to at least take him out. I had Thunder and I had double casted onto all of my parties, and I actually thought I was going to do well. But then I looked up at the upper left corner and I realized that I didn't have much time, and my Thunder spells were extremely weak. No matter what I did, nothing worked. Even attacking it didn't do much. So with what little time left, and after Quetzalcoatl's attack animation, I just simply hightailed it out of the fight again. So with what little time we had left, Squall, Zell, and Sylphie hightailed it back to the vessels back at the shore. But that spider thing was not letting up, as it was chasing me all the way to the beach. So Squall leaps into the vessel, almost getting killed until Twisted starts shooting the son of a gun with a high caliber machine gun. That is awesome! And just like that, I'm going to go ahead and end the review right here. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I would take a long time to talk about it, and to be honest, I think it'll be better if I just went on ahead and stopped. So with that, my review of Final Fantasy VIII is done. Okay, despite all of the negative things I have said about this game, there is some positivity. If you are able to look past the gameplay department of it, yeah, it's not good. But overall, it's a pretty good game. I like it personally. Despite all of the negative things I have said about this game, this is still a good game. And that is why, despite the bad gameplay, or the lack of gameplay, and the positivities sort of outweighing the bad, I give this game a 4 out of 5. And you yourself can actually get this game physically or digitally. If you are going to get this game and you have like a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation Vita or anywhere where you can play a PlayStation 1 Classic, Final Fantasy VIII is not very expensive digitally. It's only $9.99 on the PSN store. I only wish I had a PS3 again. But if you really like that physical copy, get ready to pay an extra penny, because the physical copies are worth a lot more than that. Like over $100 on Amazon. I was lucky enough to get this game for $35, and that was a very long time ago. Or if you really want to go cheap, you can actually get them on Luki Games. Luki Games is an online shopping center where you can get all sorts of video games from PlayStation, Sega, Dreamcast, and so many more. What's really cool about the site is that you can get games only or complete. Games only allows you to get the discs, and the complete allows you to get the game, case, and manuals. And if you want your Final Fantasy game, you yourself can get either the green label, or in this case the greatest hits, or you can get simply the black label. Either way works for your library. I've started using this site and I absolutely love it, and I hope you guys like it too. Check the link in the description below and have a look for yourself, and maybe you yourself can find the games that you've been looking for throughout your whole life. Luki Games, helping your library grow one video game at a time. Thank you everybody so much for watching my first ever review of a video game, and if you like it, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel for more video gaming content, and make sure you click on the notification bell to keep up to date on it. Also, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. The links are also in the description below. I'm Shiron91. Happy gaming, everybody, and I hope you all have a very good day. Take care, everybody. Finally, my Final Fantasy VIII review is done. It's been a long time and I had a lot of struggle with it, but boy, it was something. Thank you guys for watching this episode once again, and I hope you guys can show more support from my channel in the future. In the meantime, y'all take care of yourself, okay? And I'll be sure to make some more review videos like this someday. Hopefully I'll do better. But anyway, see you next time, guys. Take care!